just going to pop you on mute and share the music. Turn your volume up if needed. So we've got some piano music today. Can you guys hear that with me over the top? Yeah, great. All right, so let's start then with some mobilization for our neck. So what I'd like you to do is to just look behind your shoulder, notice how far round you can see on your first one, and then do the same the other way. So look behind you, what's the field of vision like on that side? And do it again. So just looking, and then to the middle, and the other way. And then we're going to bring some arms into it. So if you can take your arms out wide, but on one side, bring your palm so it faces up. And we're going to look again. We're looking down over the shoulder of the palm facing downwards. And then we're going to rotate the hands the other way and look over the other shoulder. And with each one, try to turn your head just a little bit further round so you're opening up more of what you can see behind you. And the other side, so opening more of the room, keep pushing a little bit, and do it again. Pressing the thumb backwards on the palm that faces upwards. So thumb pressed backwards on the palm that's up. Pressing the shoulder blades down, breathe. And we're going to do one more each way. So final one. And release. We're going to hunch the shoulders up to the ears, tiptoe balance, and down. And again, coming up to your ears, press back and down. So a really big squeeze between your shoulders. So squeeze and lower. And two more. And opening the feet, so the feet are just a bit wider than your hips. Softening your knees and let your tailbone hang down. So it's almost like you're sat down even though you're stood. We're going to let the head drop to one side and move to the middle. Let's do that the other way. So drop the head, 2, 3, and to the middle. Let's do that the other way. Drop down. And as you drop, really give into gravity with your head. And going a little bit further now, let it drop. And then as you drop, bringing the arm over. Your fingers. And final one. And coming up onto tiptoes. We're going to roll the palms up, rotate, look behind, and then look to the front. So think of testing your balance. Let's do that again. So arms wide, palm up, turn, look behind you to test your balance, look to the front, and coming back down. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, center, exhale down. Do it again. And one more each side. Final one. And taking the feet a little bit wider, turning out the toes, and we're going to bend through the knee and push the tailbone back. And the other side, so bend the knee, push the tailbone back. Next level, bringing your fingers down. And holding down there for 3, 2, 1, and back up. Working towards flattening the hand, holding down for 3 seconds, and then switching over to the other side. We do 2 more. And final one. Alrighty, let's walk our feet in. And I'd like you to come down onto the mat. You can come and join me on your back. We'll do a little bit more mobilization for our lower back. If you can tuck your tailbone under, try and lift your bottom off the floor. Breathing out as you lift, breathing in as you touch down. Next level, we'll roll, come to a seated position. So you're going to tuck. Really try and get each little vertebrae of your back rolling against the ground. On next level, we add a hover and extend and hold. So we're in a V-shaped position and then roll again. That's it. Keep your heels tucked in on the roll. Breathe. Can you do 2 more? You're doing the extended version. Really reach into your toes. So final one. Okay, let's move over onto our front. And we're going to work on some back extension. So we'll have the feet hip width, palms just slightly wider than the shoulders, pressing gently down, chin up, eye gaze up, and then lower. Breathing in on the lift, chin up, breathing out as we come down. If it feels appropriate for your back today, you might, with each one, gradually go a little bit higher. Or if you're having a bit of a flare-up day, find what works for you. I'm going to do 3 more, holding at the top now for 3, 1, and then coming down. Oh, hello, Ali's cat. Can you do 2 more? And final one. So we're going to hold now. Watch where my head goes. I'm leaning, almost like the ear has got heavy. Dropping the ear to one side. The head tilts and then move to the middle and come down. Let's do that again. So we're going to come up, squeeze the glutes, drop the head the other way, almost like the ears got heavy. Move to the middle and back down. Okay, so from here we're going to move into our child pose, opening the knees, reaching the fingers forwards and letting the head drop down so the forehead is on the ground. Let the belly hang loose. Breathing into your belly, breathing out, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Just do that one more time. Using this time as your personal breathing space. Hooking the toes under. Let's lift up through the tailbone and allow the heels to drop down. Really get that good lift with your bottom up towards the ceiling as you press down through the heels. How are the calves feeling today? Just tuning into them. Deep breath. Alrighty, and then let's take a walk with our feet and hands towards each other. Just going to hang loose here for a second, just really sort of loose and floppy. Straightening the knees, bringing the body weight back into our heels. And then soft knees, drawing the belly button muscle in as you uncurl and come back up to standing. So now's a good time. You want to grab a drink, have some water. And can you find a stick? So if you can, pop your stick here for me, so it's behind you, and then walk your hands towards each other. So notice my thumbs are touched together and I've got a full grip on my hands. So feet together, we're going to squeeze the shoulders. So initially, just moving the blades back like that. So you squeeze and then release. And do it again. So squeeze and then release. Good. And again, squeeze. Now we're going to add some lift through the arms as we maintain that squeeze and then come down. So again, let the shoulders pull back, squeeze and lift, 2, 3 and down. Good. Let's do that again. Really straighten your arms as you do it. Just squeezing the elbows towards each other and then down. Adding a little rise, hold on the tiptoes for a few seconds and then lowering. Let's do that again. So rise, squeeze, hold and back down. So good conditioning for our upper back, our shoulders, those muscles between the blades, around the rhomboids, and also working around the upper part of the arm at the back, the triceps, often called the bingo wings. So good for toning up into that area. We're just going to do it a couple more times. So final one, good squeeze, and let's release and move it into a lunge next. So if you can pop your feet nice and wide, bring the stick behind you, and we'll use that just to monitor our posture. So head, shoulders, tailbone against the stick. Now pull your lower back towards your knuckles, coming down. See if you can get your front thigh parallel to the ground. Let's lift back up and do it again. So coming down, squaring up the hips. Often one hip will try and sit back at the other, and coming back up. Let's do that again. Hold. Now, as you hold, we're going to do this one for a bit longer. Can you straighten out your back leg more, but still keep your knuckles and your lower back together. And let's release. We're going to turn and switch that over to the other side. So knuckles, lower back together, squaring up the hips, coming down. Can we get that front thigh parallel to the ground and coming back up? Let's do that again. So knuckles, lower back together. Can you keep your body weight slightly back in your legs? That's it, coming back up. And let's do one more. So coming down, we're going to hold. Can you straighten out through your back leg? We'll hold this one for a little bit longer. Breathe. Alrighty, let's rest off and give the legs a shake out. We're going to keep hold of the stick and let's come down to all fours. Okay, so can you pop the stick here along your back? And we're going to use it to test our core stability. So how well can we keep the stick on the back? Pull in from your belly button. Keeping the stick attached to the head, the shoulders, the tailbone as we lift the leg. Just hold, reaching through the toes on the hold, and then back down. We swap to the other side without losing the stick. Lifting the leg, squeezing the buttock, reaching into the toes quite firmly, right down into the big toe, and then lower. Level 1. Level 2, we start to add some reach through the arm. Reaching the toes, squeezing into the buttock, and then back down. Level 3 today, we're going to hold, and then flex, heel towards the bottom like that. So we bend the leg, extending out, and coming back down. Often the stick will give you a stick. Oh, so can we do 4 more? Just keep using the stick to test your ability to stay stable in your core. Let's do one more on each side. And final one. And let's release off, moving into our downward dog again. So walking the feet back, pressing down through the heels. Breathe. Can you lift your tailbone upwards as you press your heels downwards? Press them out slightly. So pushing out towards the little toe side of your feet. Breathe. Let's take a walk with our feet. And can you come and lay down onto your back? We're going to roll down, touch the back of the head on the floor, and then curl up. Now, if you need a band, hook that under your feet to help lever yourself down and back up. Inhaling on the lower, exhaling on the left. This level today, if you want to, you can bring the stick in, keeping the arms back by the ear, touching down, leading with the chest on the left. So working on our six-pack muscle, our rectus abdominis, runs down the front of the belly. Keeping the eye gaze up on the move helps to align the head posture. Can we do it 3 more times? Inhaling on the way down, exhaling on the way up. So one more time. And then when you're done, can you find your stick? Now, if you want to do these with some ankle weights, feel free to up some up. So we're going to move into doing some side kicks next. So I'm going to have you lie down onto your side. Make sure that you get good at them without the weights first and build up to using. So in terms of our positioning, if we aim our head, shoulders and tailbone against the stick, with the knuckles in the curve of the lower back and some lift here in the waistline before we start the moves. Now we're going to hover just the top leg to begin with. I want you to tune in to keeping your top hip just slightly forwards and then back down. So let's do that again. Is your waist still lifted? Keeping your top hip forward and then back down. Next level, we're going to stay with that hovered leg and squeeze the bottom leg up so the bottom thigh is now off the ground and lower. Let's do that again. So top leg lifting, squeezing the bottom leg up, holding, 2, 3, and down. We're going to point our toes on the way up, reaching into the big toe, flexing the feet as we come back down. Let's do that again. For third level today, we're going to hold and scissor the legs. So one goes forward and one goes back, and then we come back down. So choose your level. So third level, lifting the legs and then scissoring. One forward, one back. Keep pressing down through your shoulders, pushing the back of the head into the stick. So the chin is tucked in. Helps to transfer the weight into the core. And do that twice more. Breathe. Keep lifted in the waistline, pushing the back of the head towards the stick. Alrighty, so when you're done, let's give that a go over on the other side. So great for working on our postural muscles, head, shoulders, tailbone again against the stick. Notice the upper body's towards the back of the mat, just bringing the legs forward slightly. Lifting up through the waistline. Once you've got that lift in the waist, how's the top hip? Can you keep that steady as the leg lifts. Pointing the toes and then flexing on the way down. As you bring that second leg up, what happens to the top hip? Can you keep it steady or does it wander? Fine tuning into what that top hip does. If that's nice and steady, then moving up into level 3 if that feels like the right level for you. So we hover both legs, scissor, one forward, one back, switch the other way, flex and down. So level 3, both legs coming up, but still keeping the waistline lifted. Breathe. And let's do it again. And we've got 2 more in there. Final one. And resting off. Okay, good job. So next up, we're going to come over onto our back. If you pop your leg weights off. And I'd like you to slide your fingertips into the curve of your lower back. Pull your belly button in, so you've got a little bit of pressure in there. Feet close to your bottom as you lift your knees towards your chest. Now as you lower, can you keep good pressure on your hands without rounding the shoulders? Press the shoulders back as you lift. Keep the shoulders pressed back as you lower. And then start to move the legs a bit further away. The next level, how is that in terms of your posture? Can you avoid the shoulder blade rounding forward? Keep your chin tucked in and the back of your neck long. Over time, working towards a straighter leg. Again, just keep tuning in. What do the shoulders do? Can you keep them pressed back? Breathe. 2 more. Final one. When you're done, I'd like you to bring just one knee to your chest and straighten the other leg out long like this. That's it. We're going to point the toes and roll the knee across the body, touching the foot down, leaving the other hand trailing behind, pressing the knee with the hand towards the floor, pressing the knee down and turning to look over the shoulder of the arm behind. Press the back of the shoulder down, press the back of the wrist down. Breathe. Let's release and switch to the other side. So knee coming up and across, tapping the foot down, pressing the knee down and trailing the arm behind. Eye gaze towards that back arm. Press your shoulders down. Breathe. Alrighty, let's release. And we're going to roll onto our front. And I'd like you to go into a sort of bit of a frog-like position. So the knees are open, heels are touched together like this. And I want you to feel for 3 points. So your hip bones either side, and then your pubic bone. Press your pubic bone into the floor. You should feel your buttock muscles kick in a bit when you press your pubic bone down. Now as you lift a single leg, can you still keep your pubic bone on the floor and then lower? Let's do that the other side. So still keep the pubic bone on the floor, particularly if you're prone to lower back stuff. Really tune in to keeping your pubic bone down. If it feels doable and your back's happy, try lifting both the legs. Does the pubic bone lift or can you keep it down? Breathing in on the lift, breathing out on the lower. More advanced today, also lifting the upper body. Check your back's happy. Holding at the top for 3, 2, 1, and coming down. So really working quite deeply into the muscles in the back, particularly quite deeply into the lower back. We'll do that 3 more times. Last couple. So just really firing up the glute muscles as well. Alrighty, from here we're going to switch into child pose. So we leave the knees open, feet together, lengthen the arms forwards, rest the forehead down on the ground, let your bottom sit back to your heels. Breathe. And then slide your hands down by your heels, turning your palms up, tucking your head in, and just really sort of flopping in your shoulders, rounding like a little snail, something like that. Breathe. From here, we're going to come into a kneeling position. So bringing the knees together. And if you can take a seat on your feet like this. Now, if it troubles your knees, I want you to go into more of a traditional quad stretch like this. But if your knees are happy, then we're going to do a yoga-based quad stretch where we lean back, have the fingertips away from our feet and push the ground away with the arms, squeezing the bottom and lifting your hips up towards the ceiling there. So we're going to hold. Keep pushing the ground away. Breathe. And then release. Okay, let's give the arms a little shake out. So do the other side if you're doing the single leg one. Or this time, if you want to go further, you can bring it down to your elbows. But if not, stick with it on your hands. And we're going to push again up. Breathe. And let's release off. And from here, we're going to transition again into our downward dog. But this time, you can either stick with the basic downward dog or planting one foot down in the middle as we raise this leg up. Can we get it to go up? So the toes are now pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to look up towards that top foot. Where's it got to? Is it up towards the ceiling? Pressing down through the heel of the foot. And then lower. So just let your knees come to the ground. And let's give that a go on the other side. So, planting one foot down in the middle, raising the other leg, reaching the toes, pointing the toes up towards the ceiling, pressing down through the heels. Breathe. Alrighty, and then this time as we come out of it, notice I've got my feet hip width. I'm going to do this and raise my heels, bringing the knees down just so they hover above the ground. So I'm really giving underneath the toes a good old stretch. And then walking the feet towards the hands. Uncurling up to standing. Now's a good time for a drink. So have a drink. Let's keep ourselves hydrated. It's looking nice and sunny out there. Okay, so feet wide. We're going to move into a yoga triangle pose. So if you can open your feet like this, turn out your toes over this side, and then angle in at 45 degrees over here. Switching the hip across, sliding your left hand down. Can we go long with the top arm? Pulling your shoulders away from your ears. Bringing this arm over. I want you to reach your fingers towards the side wall, but pull your shoulder back towards the other wall. So reaching the fingers towards that side wall, but then pulling your shoulder back to the opposite wall. Can we bring this hand down and then turn your back foot so that the feet are now parallel? I'm going to drop the nose down towards the knee, seeing if we can keep both legs straight but the knees slightly soft. Then the back foot, we're going to slide away, planting the hands down on the inside of the front leg. So we're going to wriggle the back foot away, so we're on tippy toes on the back foot. And then watch where I go next. So I'm going to keep the outside hand on the floor, so along with the top arm. Just opening out around the glute, the side of the hip there, keep reaching up. And then bringing that hand back down. We're going to take a little walk towards the middle of our feet, and we'll get the toes now so they both point forwards like this. And as you do that with the feet, can you push out towards your little toe edge? So you're sort of lifting the arch of your foot. Walking your hands in towards the middle and letting your head drop. Pushing your body weight back into your heels. Breathe. And then just doing a little rocking action, so you go forward to your toes, then back to your heels. Forward to your toes, and back to your heels. Just do that one more time. To your toes, and to your heels. Okay, so we're going to walk the feet in a little bit. Come back up. And let's turn out over this side. Angling in at 45. We're going to switch the hip across. Slide the hand down and go long with the top arm. Eye gaze up towards the top hand. Breathe. Can you bring that top arm over? We're going to do that reach again with the fingers towards the side wall, but pull the shoulder back. So reach the fingers, but pull the shoulder back. Again, reach, but pull. Bending into the knee, hands coming down to the side of that foot. Make sure that foot is forward well, straightening out through the back leg onto tiptoes. Outside hand is going to stay on the floor but move in. And then we go long with the top arm, turning the body. Breathe. Walking your hands towards the middle and soft knees as you come up. Just have your feet slightly wider than your hips with a bit of toe turn out. Angling your knees towards your smaller toe and then coming back up, breathing in, breathing out, hold, 3, 2, 1 and lift. Gradually going down just that little bit further, adding some arms if you like, opening the hands, coming up over the top if you like, back of the wrists together, and then open. Do it again. Back of the wrist and open. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. So final one. Good conditioning for the legs. Opening the hips. And let's release. Bringing your feet back in. Now's a good time for a drink, and let's do some more core. Okay, so let's come down onto our backs again. We're going to repeat our double leg lift that we did. So initially we focused in on the posture in the shoulders as we raise the legs. So I'd like you to do the same again. You keep your core active as your leg comes up and down. But this time add some arms in. So if you can take your arms over your head, can you touch your thumbs down simultaneously with the toe touch down? So just a little bit of coordination, thumbs tapping down, toes tapping down at the same time. Moving the feet slightly further away, if that feels like the right level. And there's usually a point where you kind of get the shakes a little bit when you're on the edge of your comfort zone. Can you slow it down through that shaky point? Avoiding the back going into overarch will help you find it. Keeping the belly button and the pelvic floor pulled in. So there's a little bit of tuck in your lower back. We do that 4 more times, breathing in as you open and exhale as you circle and close. Point your toes. And you do 2 more. So final one. Bend your knees up to your chest, and can we find a foam roller? So a bit of Friday foam rolling. I'd like you to come over the top of the roll so that you've got your knees just below the roller, so it's above your kneecaps like this. We're in a plank position. So I'm going to squeeze and make a fist, and then walk the forearm backwards, rolling along the thighs towards the hip, and then back in the opposite direction. Try and keep some core support, so you pull your belly button muscle in to protect your back. Now, the double leg one is usually enough for most people. If you want to go more deeply and firmly, you can crisscross like this. And for me now, I'm sort of going more down the outer belly of the quad muscle there. A lot of people find the crisscross leg version quite intense. You cross the thigh rather than the calf. Okay, great. So from here, let's work on some foam rolling for our glutes, common site of tension. Good to iron it out regularly. So if you bring one leg over the other like this, got the leg ankle bone just above your knee here, and then lean this hand down by the side of the roll. That's it. We're going to foam roll back in 2. That's it. And then mentally just exploring, where's the tightest spot? How's it feeling? Is it kind of the belly of the glute, or is it more on the outer part of the hip? Once you've found the knottier, tighter spot, then a little circle, kind of pulsing action to dig into it a little bit more deeply. Often it starts to shift after about 30 seconds or so. So just noticing that sensation. Does it shift? Follow it. Might need a good old longer, more consistent bit of foam rolling to work through that longer term. To me, foam rolling is a bit like brushing your teeth. Okay, so let's give that a go on the other side. So forward and back again, the action to start with. Have a little explore. Is it the main part of the buttock? Is it more on the side? Again, once you've found that knottier, tighter spot, little circles, more of a pulsing action. does it start to shift? Follow it. So let's foam roll through our mid and upper back, useful for opening up tight thoracics. So if you go sort of middle back, we're going to lift our bottom up, hands supporting through the back of the head as you foam roll slowly up and down the middle and the upper back. Now you might find that one side feels a bit more bristly or knottier than the other. You can rotate now to that side. Not useful for your extreme hoovering incident, Anna. So if you go into where you feel the knottier, tighter spot, just having a good old explore around. Again, you can do a bit more of a pulsing action. Might be a bit further round to the armpit. Might be more around the other side of the blade. So just having a good old explore. Alrighty, and then let's shift that over to the other side. How does this side compare? Again, is it the inner part of the blade? Is it the outer? It might be all over. Just using your foam roller to have a good old explore of what the fibers of the muscles feel like. And just digging a bit more deeply. Alrighty, so from here, I'd like you to turn your roller around now. And we're going to park our bottom down the bottom end. Make sure you've got room for your head here at the top. Moving into surrender arms next. So it might be enough for you without weights, but if you want to add some weights, kilo or two usually does it. So hands just slightly wider than the shoulder, pressing down through the back of the head. So think of tucking your chin in and apply a gentle pressure with the back of the head, tucking the chin in. Notice where you feel the stretch when you do that, and then release. Let's do that again. So chin in, push down, breathe, and release. So chin in, push into the back of the head, and release. And do it again. Chin in, breathe, and do that one more time. And resting off. So we're going to roll sideways off our roll, just plonk ourselves down onto the floor. And foam roller to one side as you rest your hands just on top of your belly. Your eyes closed now. Let the back of your head just nestle into the mat. Opening your teeth. Your tongue drop inside of your mouth. Relaxing around your shoulders. Feeling for the pattern of your breath, rising, falling. Visualize your tailbone sinking into the ground and visualizing any tension in your back melting away. Might give any final bits of tension a colour, draining away into the ground, disappearing off like water disappearing off down through a shower plug. Relaxing through the legs, down into the feet. It's drifting away in your attention. To visualize yourself walking out in nature in one of your favorite places to walk at this time of year. Somewhere where the daffodils are coming out, the snowdrops, sense of new life springing up. Just seeing how that space influences your thoughts, your feelings, your energy. Just enjoying being in that space. Just bringing your attention down into your feet. I'd like you to straighten your legs and just circle through your ankles. You're going to circle around and then go back in the opposite direction. When you're ready, if you can roll onto your side and then come up to a seated position. And we'll have a little stretch for our neck. So if you can turn, slide the hand around the back of the skull, chin in, just gentle pull down, breathe. And let's release, turn the head, slide the hand around the back, chin in, applying some pressure at the back of the skull, breathe. So I hope you've had a good session today. Just stop the share of the sound. Let's have a little check-in. So how are we feeling?